that slaves may be dead, and maybe you weren't there as part of taking the money, but money doesn't die. As you know, Butch, money does two things: it circulates and it multiplies. So if there was money taken from slave labor, free labor, given to somebody else, that's a wealth transfer. And that wealth transfer just didn't end when the slave died. It didn't end when the person who took it died. That money went into investments in land, in property, in mining, in railroads, in shipbuilding, in banks, and every place else. And that money is still circulating today. I say this very often. You give me 20, 30 of the best accountants, I can ask them to do a forensic analysis of wealth in this country. You could trace a huge portion of wealth in this nation directly back to slavery. And so the idea of paying it. And then the second part of reparations is this, is it's something I call admitting you are wrong. Admitting that you did something deserving of making an atonement. White America cannot make an atonement. When people talk about American exceptionalism, in my opinion, they have it wrong. It's not that we are a great nation and we are a free nation. Are we a nation that can apologize and admit a wrong? Now, how do you admit a wrong in a nation that's built fundamentally on capitalism? The measure of capitalism is wealth attainment. How much wealth do you have? So if you really want to atone, give money. Don't give what has become, for me, and I've sort of coined this phrase for it, but I mean, if there's anything that just gets me upset, it's this behavior of certain white people, and they're principally white people, on the liberal radical spectrum of the left wing of people in this country, that they fundamentally believe that by doing what I call placebo paternalism things, they can make it better for black people. Placebo paternalism is knocking down Confederate statues. You can knock down every Confederate statue in this country. It will not do one whit to change the wealth gap between white Americans and black Americans, where it's 10 times for whites against blacks. You can change every script in Gone with the Wind. You can cancel the Duke of Hazzards. The Dixie Chicks can change their name to Chicks. It's not going to do one darn thing to close the housing gap between black and white Americans, where blacks are living in apartments, renting, whites are living in houses, getting a mortgage deduction, and black people are paying the same taxes. All of these announcements in the Wall Street Journal about we're going to give money to this program and that program, these programs do nothing to create wealth and access to capital for black people. You can make all the movies and show them all on Netflix about everything that happens to black people. You don't have to do that. Black people know what's happening to them. You don't need somebody to give a 4-minute introduction to Gone with the Wind to say it was really worse than this. We already know that. And that's what I call placebo paternalism. Giving you something that do nothing for you to help you, but they think it makes you feel good, but when it really all it does is make them feel good. And so if you really believe you want to help black people, don't pull down Stonewall Jackson. Give $14 trillion over 30 years in reparations to every black, 40 million black souls living in the United States descended of slaves. Then you are really looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I'm going to give to black people what I value most, and that is wealth equality. No black person is going to eat better. No black person is going to get a reduction in diabetes because you tore down a Confederate statue. Nor will they get better because the Dukes of Hazzard is not on TV. These are the things that this mentality of placebo paternalism is what white people are willing to do. They will stop right up to the point of saying, hey, we'll do all of these things that make us feel good, and we hope they make you feel good, but we really don't care. But if you ask us for $350,000 over 30 years to bring us to wealth equality with the median white family, no, we can't do that, and we won't support that, because if we do, that may not get us elected, but we'll support a study. How much studying do you have to do to know that white people rob black people of their wealth in the form of slave labor? That's a sentence. That's all you need to know. And that continued through Jim Crowism, that continued to housing discrimination, job discrimination, access to wealth discrimination, health discrimination, and every systemic discrimination you could think of. And you can't come to the conclusion that, well, maybe we do owe them that. And the Germans did it, you know? And there's no reason why we can't look ourselves and say, aren't we better? Or at least as good as the people of Germany? No. But you ask a white person, can you do that? And you do it by the taxes, and it's like we do everything else. You know, this money comes from taxpayers. And if you want to make it progressive so the rich people pay more and the poor people pay, and the people with less income pay less. You know, I spread it out over 30 years. And it breaks down on a monthly basis. It breaks down about $11,000 a year of money over 30 years. And to me, it's not so much, it's the money, but more importantly, it's white America admitting one of the things most precious to us is wealth, control, access to capital control. Well, give what is most precious to you to us because you owe it. Do not give us a torn down statue. Do not give us the cancellation of TV shows with cops or TV shows with Dukes of Hazzards, or worry about the damn flag taking the battle flag of the Confederate out. That will never put food on the table for a single parent household where the mother is struggling every day to feed her kids. None of that will matter. But yet, white America says, look at us, we put an ad in the Wall Street Journal saying we're giving money to this group. But they never ask black people where the money should go. They just give it. And more importantly, they never say, oh, and here's the person you should call to sit down and talk about where this money should go. They already make up their mind where the money should go. They don't ask black people. Right. They just say, this is what we're going to do because it makes them feel good. That's placebo paternalism.
Yeah, it is absolutely